How's it going? Oh, it's going. Hey, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to my Thursday Q&A. So let's get started here. First question comes from Alan Thompson. Are you abusing the girl? What did you do to her? She has a bruise on her throat. Are you choking her? She looks scared. Are you scared?
No. Not scared. No bruises.
No, that was a hickey.
Yeah.
That was a hickey. That was definitely a hickey. All right, so next question comes from Granter 2. With the two of you sharing the space, wouldn't a larger van, perhaps an older Class B, make more sense than adding a high top to your current van, despite all the work you have put into it mechanically? Yes, it would. It definitely would. I thought that, see, I've rebuilt this thing, I think, 4 times now. The thing is, it's such a small freaking space that it's always like a big compromise. You're always compromising something, like, on a big level, and trying to find the perfect balance of compromise and the perfect layout. I just haven't been able to do it. It's all been a big experiment. So you're absolutely right. A bigger van at least would be a much better idea. I don't know about a Class B, unless we got something like brand new or something very new that didn't have any problems. But anything under, it seems like probably 20 grand or something. It seems like, it's got all these different systems, and they're mostly made pretty cheaply, it just would present so many new problems that it wouldn't be worth it for a little bit extra space. Plus, they pack so much stuff in there, and there's so much stuff in there we don't need. Microwave and all the propane stuff and everything. There's just a bunch of stuff in there we don't need. So, yeah. Sherry C, this is one of my favorite channels. Awesome, glad to hear it. What are some of your favorites? We love the Hodge twins. We both love the Hodge twins. We watch them all the time. Very dark sexual humor, but very funny. I like Austin Augie a lot. He's one of my new favorites. Love watching fart prank videos, like all of them, pretty much. That's my go-to. If I'm not feeling like 110%, I watch fart prank videos, and it makes me smile and laugh every single time. And I'm probably going to start making prank videos on I'm going to start a separate channel for that eventually. I thought about doing that a long time ago. I actually have a prank video on mine I had a remote control tarantula in Salem the first time I was there. And Peter McKinnon is one of my new favorites too. He's a photographer / videographer, and he's just amazing. I love that guy. Amazing channel. Frank and Chewy, would lithium batteries be worth the cost difference? Depends on what you're after. It seems like lithium is better in every single way than lead acid, including AGMs, but they are damn expensive. If I had the money, yeah, I think so, because they last so much longer. I haven't done the actual math, but it seems like they're rated so many more charge and discharge cycles that it financially makes more sense to have lithium batteries if you're going to keep that vehicle or those batteries for a long enough time. But I haven't done the actual math yet. But I've read enough to know that they're better than lead acid in almost every way. Mr. Horn. That's a Linkin Park reference. I don't know if you meant it to be, but there's a thing in some Linkin Park song that goes, Mr. Horn. It says, what have you as a person learned from this experience? I'm assuming you mean like living in a van. That's hard to say, man, because it's like, would I have learned these things another way? Did I learn them directly from this experience or not? But I tell you what I've gained. I've definitely gained a lot of like self-reliance and not as much seeking outside for help and support, because you're out there by yourself, somewhere you've never been. But at the same time, I have so much support from the people who watch my YouTube videos. Anytime I have a question that needs answered, or anytime I don't even know that I have a question about something, people fill me in, so that's pretty cool. Learned a lot of patience. My drive has grown. Those two things mostly from the YouTube channel. My confidence is like whoosh, soared, man. I used to be like, before I left, I had so much anxiety. I couldn't even like go to the grocery store half the time. I just like stay in my room. I wouldn't go out and hang out with friends or anything. I just stay in my room on the internet as much as I possibly could, when I wasn't at school or whatever. But yeah, now I don't have a problem going anywhere. My social anxiety has mostly disappeared. So if I know that I'm going to meet someone new, I get kind of anxious sometimes. But other than that, I don't really have social anxiety anymore. I just get nervous about like chemicals, but that's a separate thing. And also that people are fundamentally good. Most people are fundamentally good. There's definitely plenty of like psychopaths and narcissists out there, but most people are fundamentally good, but definitely capable of evil. I think everyone's capable of some pretty terrible things in the right circumstances. Most people. Dragon Raptor, have you ever thought about coming through Tennessee and visiting Nashville and visiting the birthplace of country music, Bristol, Tennessee? Also, there's Graceland, Elvis's home. The first main stop when I first left was Nashville. I was going to become a rock star, and or I thought I wanted to, and then I realized I love traveling on my own. I wouldn't want to do it with five other sweaty dudes in a bus or something, you know. That would suck. I like doing it on my own and feeling totally free. Yeah, so I ended up staying on the road and kept going. But yeah, it was pretty. I love Nashville. It was awesome. I stayed on Music Row. There was like a park on Music Row, so I forget what studio I was across from, but it was right across from a studio. It was really cool. That was a good time. First time I ever saw fireflies, actually. It was funny. I was at that park and I saw the little lights going off, and I asked this guy. I was like, "Hey, man, can I ask you a question?" And he's like, "Yeah, what's up, man?" I was like, "Are you seeing these little lights?" He's like, "Oh, what do you mean, man?" You know, he was messing with me. And I was like, "Dude, please, please tell me you see these lights." Because it was so hot, and I'd never been anywhere that hot, and I'd never been anywhere. It was July, I think, when I went. It was hot and humid, so I was burning up. I thought maybe I was having a heat stroke or something. But yeah, he ended up taking me in his car, and he showed me all this country music and stuff. He worked at some studio. It was cool. It was a cool experience. I loved it. I love Nashville and Tennessee. All of Tennessee. Except for the weather. I don't like heat and humidity. Jesse Stafford. Yes, I'm going to be making build videos. I'm going to try to make them like next level, like 10 times better than my previous ones. Don't know how I'm going to do that yet. If you guys have suggestions, please let me know. I'm going to kick them off on Saturday. Jesse Stafford says, have you looked into doing another van build like an Anaconda line or an Express or Ram van? Make your own style of Class B. Yes. Yes, I have. Watch Saturday's video. Enomat. What is that? Enoimat? Enoimat says, hey, I'm interested in your side curtains, most particularly the rods. Can you show us how they're installed? Peace from France. Ooh la la, France. Yeah. So I got these. This one fell off. These are just like super, super junky, the cheapest curtain rods I could get from Walmart, and they're absolute garbage. The little end rod falls off, and they're just garbage. So I just, let me see if I can get a decent shot. These are the little things that came to hold it. I pull it out. The curtain rod just sets right in it. So I just screwed it right into the wall there, and it works. They fall off, but they work, I guess. So there's that. Where'd my phone go? There it is. Annoyment. I don't know how to say that. Jason Blue. Well, I'm going to ask an actual question instead of commenting on Evie. Thanks, man. I actually really appreciate that. You guys are cute. Screw the haters. Thanks, man. Anyway, Jed, out of all the insulation options, why did you choose thin slate over rock wool? I don't know anything about rock wool. I don't know a thing. I've never even heard of it until now. So I cannot comment on that. Also, a lot of people live in vans, do it for rock climbing. Do you and Evie have any interest dabbling in that world? Rock climbing?
Yeah, it would be cool to learn, for sure.
Definitely. I got a bad shoulder, but I think that I can do this. So, yeah, I'm definitely down. R. Buyer, what Max Air fan do you use? Link is in the description. I don't know the exact model. Does it say on it?
It just says Max fan.
Yeah, I don't know exactly which one it is. It's got a bunch of speeds and in and out in the thermostat. Peaches MacGyver, what are you and Evie's main food staples for food on the road? What can you both not go without? For me, it's coconut water. What is it for you?
Ritz crackers and vitamin water.
And
Twix.
Yeah, and Twix.
Yeah.
She's always eating those crackers constantly.
Yes.
I'm surprised you're not eating them right now. Demonic Angel, can you give any advice for an 18-year-old who lives at home with closed-minded parents about wanting to live in a van? How to tell them? Also want me to go to college, but I don't necessarily want to. Any advice? Thank you. I get this question a lot. And it's really hard for me to answer because I don't know a damn thing about your life. I know nothing about you. But the way our culture is, at least in America, and I think all the most of the Western world at least, when you're 18, all of a sudden you're an adult, and now you're supposed to go out on your own and live your own life, when previously you've totally relied on your parents, and even though you've tried to like push them away or whatever, but it's a tough time to be alive, man. 18 is rough. It's so confusing. I think you should live for you. I don't know a thing about you, though, so take that with a grain of salt. But I think you should live for you and do the things you want, but don't burn that bridge, man, because my parents have helped me out a lot. And they're not perfect, and I'm not perfect, and nobody's perfect, but don't burn that bridge unless you have to, I guess. Otherwise, if you don't want to go to college, and especially if you have to pay for it, I wouldn't go. I mean, it depends on if you wanted to be a doctor or you wanted to be a lawyer, there's no way around it. If you just want to make a good living and make enough money to survive, you can probably learn how to make money online, a lot more money than you would with most college degrees anyway, especially by the time you get out of debt for the loans. Oh my God, they're so expensive. I can't really tell you anything beyond that. That's a tough... You got to look inside of yourself and figure out what you want and do it, I guess. Yeah, that's a hard one. That's a really hard one for me to answer. McCunt says, when do you plan on having your van done and being on the road? Where to? We're shooting for 3 weeks at the most.
3 weeks, yeah.
At the most. We're going to try for 2. We're going to hustle, man. We got a plan now. We got everything lined up, everything coming on our way, and we're just going to do it. So we're hustling. And then it's all the way down 101 to San Diego. Freedom Seeker, do you ever sit outside and have a campfire? Sometimes, not very often. I always camped in the city. I don't like camping alone, man, but that's going to change with her. There's bears, and every sound I hear, I'm like, oh my God, is that a serial killer? You know, so it's like, dude, I'll just stay in the city. There's a bathroom there. The next day I can go and explore something. I just don't like camping alone, but that's different now. Sharon Marks, have you started making your styrofoam cabinets yet? No, but very soon. Dragon Raptor, hello my friend Jed, I have a question. Have you thought about putting a window AC unit in your back door and using your van in summertime? Yeah, but you gotta have either like one hell of a battery bank or a generator or a plug into 112, because those things consume a ton of electricity and it would look like crap, man. And I think the best bet for me is just go where the weather's good. Go somewhere I don't need it. Plus, once you start using air conditioning, when it's hot out, your body acclimates to that. So as soon as you don't have it, it's like, ugh, it's like way too much. Where if you just like suffer through it for a little bit, you kind of get used to it. And it's not as bad. I can tell you that my time spent in Nashville in July, 90 degrees and 100% humidity or whatever, was pretty miserable though. Constantly sticky and ugh, I hated it. My hair like got dry and brittle from the humidity. It was really weird. It like broke off. Jason Relaxation, you mentioned you ran into Bob from Cheap RV Living while in Phoenix. Was there any chance of filming a van tour of his video? No, I just saw him for I talked to him from on the side. He was walking on the side of the road with his dog. I saw him for talked to him for maybe 5 minutes. No video with him, unfortunately. Lewis Compton, I've got an old van and there's a carpet in the ceiling and it has a smell in it. There's no ventilation. And when I'm in it, I feel like shit. Do I need ventilation or is it mold? It's probably mold, man. If it's making you feel sick and it smells bad and you've got no ventilation in there, and when you're in there, when you exhale, there's a ton of humidity that comes out. Get that stuff out of there, man. Rip it all out and bleach it. I mean, you can get little mold test kits from like Home Depot and stuff, but if it smells like mold and you're getting sick, get it out of there. Get it out, because mold sickness sucks, especially if you're sensitive to it, and it sounds like you might be. Rand Nally. Also, somebody recommended this stuff to me, oregano oil. I got this oregano rest. It's got oregano oil and some other herbs in it. When I had my mold sickness and my sinus infection and everything, I started taking this stuff 3 or 4 times a day. And oregano oil, you have to get the real oregano oil from, where is it from, the Mediterranean or something, Greece or some crap like that. I don't know, but I put it, it's called oregano. I put it under my tongue and it burns a little bit, but whoosh, I was unsick super fast. Check this stuff out. If I remember, I'll put a link in the description. If not, ask me, because this stuff's amazing. Rand Nally, how long do you spend editing per video on average? Thanks for the content, top notch. It's radically changed recently because she's letting me use her MacBook, and I realized how bad my laptop was for editing. I couldn't color correct at all, and anytime I made a change, it would sit and it would render for like a half an hour and have to just sit and wait for it. But with hers, it's like instant. You can instantly change like all kinds of things. You don't have to sit and wait. And when it exports, it's twice as fast too. So it's amazing. That's part of the reason why I've been able to make better videos lately. Well, like the ones where I go out, the vloggy travel videos. But I think, let's say the last one, Seattle, probably 5 hours.
Took you a while.
Yeah, I worked on that for a while. But I perfected I got like all the little transitions as good as I can, leveled all the volume, did like every little tiny thing I could to make it like the best that I possibly could. I probably won't be able to put that much time in every day. I'm going to try to daily vlog once we take off. But I would say 3 to 5 hours for the vlogs. For these Q&A videos, I just color correct it real quick, and I level the volume, add the intro, the outro, export it, and that's it. There's like nothing to them. So like maybe 20 minutes top, probably like 10 minutes of work time on these, and the rest is just, waiting half an hour for it to export. Super, super easy. That's one thing I like about the Q&A videos, way easier. But I don't have the creativity as much. I'm just kind of talking. Lost Nomad, when you are out on the road away from Oregon and the Astro needs mechanical work, how do you find a good mechanic that won't rape you on the cost? P.S. the ums, ers, and keep being true to yourself. Thanks, man. I don't have a good answer for that. Last time I paid a mechanic to do something, I had to go 3 of them. I've installed new brake lines. The first one said I needed new brake lines. They were going to charge me like, I don't know, 700, 900, something, a very large amount of money to install new brake lines. Next ones I went to, I called them and said, hey, can you do the brake? But they were going to they were going to have to hold it overnight. And I was like, I can't do that. I live in it. So I called another place. They said, yeah, bring it in. We have a guy that can do it for like 500 or something. And then I brought it in. I waited an hour in the waiting room, and then they told me nobody there could do it. I was like, okay, great. You could have told me that an hour ago. I've been sitting here waiting. And then the next one checked it out, and they just tightened up the fittings and bled the brakes, and they're fine. And they did that for free. So, well, they charged me for the bleeding the brakes, but not the tightening up. So I have no idea, man. My advice is to learn how to fix your own stuff. There's some things that are kind of hard to do, like flushing coolant and stuff on the road. Anything you can learn to do yourself, I highly advise against, because I don't trust mechanics. And Tay was very cool. I love that guy, but he really opened my eyes to how much other mechanics really try to rip you off on stuff. I miss that guy, though. Tay is really rad. If you're watching this, Tay, I love you, man. Mike F., when will you have sweatshirts for sale? I've got one in the mail coming to me right now that I'm going to test out, and if I like it and I feel like it's up to par for what I have to ask for a price, then they will be on my website, and I will definitely announce them in a video. Reese Smith, what are your thoughts on converting a short bus to a camper? I don't like them. I think they look goofy as all hell, but if you like them, you should do it. Now, since there is 2 of you, we have enough money for travel and supplies. She's got her own money. I've got my own money, so yes. Yeah, we're going to be fine. Just fine. Nancy Nightingale. Hey, nephew. Hey, Aunt Nancy. Did the Suwaki tire inflator machine work for you? I can't get mine to inflate or work. Send me an email on that through the contact form on my website, because mine works great and I haven't had a single problem with it, and I've used it many times. Suwaki makes great stuff and really good prices too. Flower Child, do you have a winter camp and a summer camp, or do you travel 365 a year? Just curious. I travel when I'm not rebuilding my van, basically, which I've done that many times, but this next one is going to be good enough, and just watch Saturday, and you'll understand why. It'll be a little easier this time. Ron Williams, have you ever thought about using a heating blanket? I've been running a heating blanket, and it really helps to be a plus because it really seems to be a plus because it is a dry heat, and they get your temperature warm, and I like it. Give me a shout out if you like that idea. Ron Williams, I like that idea a lot, actually. Yeah, propane heaters suck. They put out a ton of humidity into the air, like a ton of moisture in the air, and they heat up the whole van. And then when the outside of the van's cool, any exposed metal or glass surface, bam, you've got condensation, just like that. So yeah, heating blankets are awesome if you got enough power to run one. I don't know if you could run one off your starter battery. I don't need one anymore because I got her. She is a heating blanket. She sleeps really warm, which is gonna be rough in the summer. Anyway, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Drop your questions in the blah blah blah. You know the drill. Peace. Love yourself.